The universe is 13.8 billion years old. It's an astronomically, pun intended, large number that we do struggle sometimes to comprehend. Understanding our place in the universe and on this earth, I believe, is a crucial part of actually being human. We have the capability of understanding from a rational and logical point of view who we are, what we're doing. And so we are able to truly understand, or at least begin to truly understand, what our place actually is and how small it is, not only in the space of the universe, the physical space, but also of time. 13.8 billion years ago was when the Big Bang happened. Before the Big Bang happened, the theory is that everything we see in existence today, including the four fundamental forces of nature, which are gravity, electromagnetism, and the strong and weak nuclear forces, were all one. They were all together in this massive super force kind of, we don't even know what form it was in, but it was all together in one. And then for reasons unknown, it suddenly exploded. And it didn't just explode out into, the confines of space, more of a stretching and cooling, and the actual space of the universe expanded along with this, as well as time. It's a very odd concept to get our head around, but even just awareness of the potential of this concept, or the awareness of the theory of this concept, is enough to open our minds up and enough to give us perspective. And this video and this channel even is all about perspective, shifting it, gaining new perspectives, whether you believe it, understand it or not. New perspectives and learning new things is always good for the brain, for the body, and just for society as a whole. In the early universe, we're talking, first few seconds even, there were very violent collisions of matter and antimatter, and these collided and annihilated each other. One of the byproducts was actually photon energy. Photons are what move in waves that we measure on this electromagnetic spectrum. Waves like radio waves, infrared, ultraviolet, visible light, which is the light that we see around us forming the rainbow, going all the way up to X-rays and gamma rays. They are made of photons that move in different levels of energy, and they have different wavelengths. Early universe is what created our subatomic particles, which then further fused together under the right conditions to form atoms and the first chemical elements. As these chemical elements come together, they form stars. So the main source of energy for stars, including our own sun, is actually the conversion of hydrogen into helium. In addition to stars, chemical elements would have formed clouds of dust and debris, and due to gravity, all this dust and debris would have come together. The gravity increases, and so it pulls more in until you get a clump, and then these clumps come together and form planets, and as they get into orbits around stars, this is how you get solar systems. And then all these different solar systems and different stars and different planets and planetoids that get formed, they form huge clusters, forming galaxies. Galaxies then form clusters of galaxies, and then you have superclusters of galaxies. And it just goes on and on in terms of size, which is absolutely incredible. This is all amazing, fascinating, but another question in terms of looking at perspective and considering our place is, when were these things actually discovered? With the naked eye, we can actually observe anywhere between 2,000 to even 6,000 or 9,000 stars in the sky. This very much depends though on the atmospheric conditions or pollution, etc. But in ancient times, our ancestors were probably able to view far more stars than we can today, because there was much less pollution, for example. So on a very perfect, clear evening, they could probably view quite a few stars in the sky. The sun and the moon were the first real celestial objects to be revered by our ancestors, simply because they are in the sky every day. The impacts of the sun and the moon are quite obvious and quite measurable here on Earth. So our ancestors created rituals and religions and noted down, things about the sun and the moon, created calendars around them, created gods around them, because they are so obvious and important as celestial objects in the night sky. Regarding the planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn were the only planets known to our ancestors because they can be seen with the naked eye. The discovery of what they actually are, that they are planets, they're in our solar system, what they're actually made of, was a very gradual process, and of course it comes along with advancements in technology. It was really in the 17th century when technology took a leg up, and now with aided technology we could see much further out into the universe and understand that these are planets, there are rings, they are made of different objects, and they actually sit at different distances from us. Classically, these 5 planets plus the sun and the moon were known as the 7 classical planets, which is another reason why the number 7 has symbolic meaning in ancient times. As we started to gaze outwards and actually try to understand and put our intellect and our curiosity to the outside world, they did believe for actually a very long time that the Earth was the center of the universe. This is quite natural for various reasons. One reason being that without technology, we didn't really have any other point of reference or any other evidence to suggest otherwise, because it does appear that we are stationary and everything else is going around us. It does appear like that from Earth. But of course now we know differently, but we cannot blame our ancestors for thinking like this. Another reason that this theory would have come up is due to human arrogance. This is an innate human trait. We are quite arrogant and in a way quite selfish. And these traits have not only aided us in our survival, but have actually pushed us to the top of the food chain, if you will. We dominate this planet because of our arrogance, our ruthlessness, and of course our creativity and our curiosity. But our arrogance and ego does play quite a big part. The early model then of this Earth-centered universe is known as geocentric. So this geocentric model was influenced by philosophers like Plato and Aristotle, and then also by the astronomer Ptolemy in the 2nd century CE. This model was deeply embedded into culture, society, religion, philosophy for 1500 years. In the 16th century, it was actually Nicholas Copernicus who developed a very detailed mathematical model and suggested that mathematically the heliocentric model, which is sun-centered, was the correct model, was the correct way to describe our solar system. Challenging an age-old doctrine, especially an age-old doctrine that puts the human in the center and feeds the arrogance of the human, is always going to be a challenge. You are actually part of the universe. Things do not revolve around you, you revolve with everything else. You are equal to everything else. You're not above anything else. This model and this theory actually did take hold. It took a while, but it did take hold, and it is now the accepted theory of our place in the universe. In this video, we have looked at the beginnings of the universe, dating 13.8 billion years ago. The beginnings of the universe, all those chemical reactions, they build everything from the ground up, literally, including time and space. We must always remind ourselves that we are not above nature in any way. The sooner that humanity can grasp this concept and our true place in the universe, the sooner humanity can calm down, become a bit more humble and a bit more content. Even the content in this video, if you don't agree with it, you don't like it, or you maybe don't understand it, that's absolutely fine. But I do thank you for staying to the end and just listening to a new perspective, even if you don't agree with it. This is the final art piece. Thank you very much for watching this video. Do like and subscribe to the channel, support the channel, the links are all down below, and I will see you on the next video.